Today we're going to be talking about applying to juried art shows and how to improve your booth photo with a few tips for how to design a good booth. So why is a good booth photo important? Well, it's highly recommended that you include one with your application because it significantly boosts your scores. The jurors heavily reference your booth photo to determine your professionalism and to confirm that you have the proper display and equipment. The booth photo also shows the breadth of work that you have to display to customers and will show the jurors that you have enough to sell at the show. And it also shows the jurors that you have work that's a good fit for the patrons of that particular show. Since you only submit 4 other images of your work, the booth photo shows a wider range of styles and price points, increasing your chances of being rated as a good match. The jurors are trying to determine if you're a good fit for the show, and your booth display will help confirm that you have what is required. And it's also the last image that the jurors see, so you really do want to leave a last good impression. Today we're going to use this photo of Cheryl Brown's booth as our example of a good booth photo. Most people have a smartphone, and that's really all you need to take a good booth shot. Keep the phone perpendicular to the floor so that the side edges are straight, and take several angles so that you have choices at the end. Now this might all sound easy, but we often see issues, and that's what today's video is all about. The first issue we see most often is exposure. If the booth is backlit or poorly lit, we cannot see the artwork. Also, overexposure makes the artwork really hard to see. Let's also talk about perspective. Oftentimes we see images that are zoomed in really tight and don't show a lot of the artwork or the entire booth. Or they're aimed too high and show more of the ceiling and less of the booth. Or they're aimed too low and are showing us more of the floor. As I mentioned before, you want to hold the phone perpendicular to the floor to keep the side angles straight. Oftentimes we see images like this which make the jurors feel like they're falling backwards. Stay focused on your booth and don't show extraneous items outside of your booth. And one of the biggest mistakes is taking a vertical shot instead of a horizontal one. This doesn't allow the juror to see the full image on their screen. Another thing we recommend is taking a minute before you take the photo to remove items that are unnecessary. Don't include people in the booth, and you shouldn't be in your booth photo either. Be sure to remove personal items, hardware, and equipment that you were using to set up your booth. And do a double check at the end to sweep away anything that you see on the floor to leave a clean photo. Another one of the big problems we see often is low resolution. Submitting a pixelated image makes it very difficult for the jurors to see the artwork clearly. As I mentioned before, after you've got everything set up, take a few different angles. This angle is a great photo and would be perfectly acceptable. This angle actually shows more of Cheryl's work and is a better booth photo overall. First-time applicants often have a challenge of how to submit a booth photo if they've never done a show before. Sometimes we'll see drawings or sketches made through software programs, but this is not helpful to the jurors. We've also seen people submit images of the canopy that they purchased, but this doesn't help the jurors see any type of artwork display. What we recommend is before the show, take the time to set up your booth in a driveway or some type of indoor arena and take the photo there. That way we'll see exactly what your booth will look like at the show. So let's recap some of the common mistakes that we've already talked about. You want to check for proper exposure, making sure that you're exposing for the artwork in the booth. Be sure to remove all extraneous items, including yourself and customers. Make sure you crop the image to cut out booths next to you or too much above or below your booth. And also be sure to consider putting up walls or curtains so you don't see into other booths and that your art is the focus. So let's look at some examples of good booth photos. This image shows artwork filling the frame with the widest angle possible. Use bright and even lighting. Hang everything level with good composition. Consider putting items in the foreground. Maximizing space by displaying your artwork at all heights. Use complementary and uniform colors for tablecloths. Use hard panels so that you can hang everything level, showing a variety of sizes and price points for your work. And make your booth photo an impressive image that will make the jury give you high scores. Thanks so much for watching, and we hope to see your application soon.